Hi guys, I'm Stephanie, and this is Steph Stove, and today we are making chocolate covered peanut butter balls. But these peanut butter balls are a little different. There is no sugar added and they're protein packed. They have only a few ingredients and they are amazing. So let's get started and let me show you how to make these wonderful, healthy, no sugar added peanut butter balls. Let's do it. All right. Before we get started, I just wanted to show you something pretty. Now, look at this beauty. Look at this. I love amaryllis lilies. My grandmother got me started with my love for these when I was a little girl. She had them all over her yard, and this particular one is called apple blossom. And I got it right before Christmas, and it just bloomed, so I cut it off and put it, and this is one stem. Some water went out. And it has 5 blooms on it. Actually 6, but one of them hasn't opened yet. And I just cut it to put it in here with me in the kitchen to admire it because I thought it was just gorgeous. And I wanted to show it to you too. Isn't that pretty? Just beautiful. I can't wait until it gets a little better weather. And then I'll plant it out in the yard. So it'll look really pretty when it's coming up. Got some water on. But that's okay. All right, now on to our wonderful peanut butter balls. All right, so I've got just a regular size bowl here. It doesn't have to be huge. And we're going to add to this. This is peanut butter powder or PB2 powder if you've never seen this. This is just powdered peanut butter. And again, if you're not familiar with using this, it is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And it's easy, in fact, that it has so much less calories and fat than regular peanut butter. And just to show you, you can see on the back of this that is 2 tablespoons a serving, has 60 calories, 6 grams of protein, and 70% less fat. Saturated fat has 1.5 gram of fat, as opposed to the old standard here, which we all love too. It has 190 calories for 2 tablespoons and 16 grams of fat. So this will be delightfully delicious. All right, so I got a few lumps in there, so I'm going to kind of press those out. And to this, so we get a nice consistency, we're going to add applesauce to this. Now this is unsweetened applesauce, and that's exactly what you want, unsweetened applesauce. You're going to add half a cup, or this is 4 ounces. These little individual servings are half a cup. So you do the entirety of one of these packets. And some of you, your kids or grandkids, you may have some of these that you can grab one from them. We're just going to blend these 2 ingredients together. Now it's going to get kind of firm, so you're going to have to kind of, oh, so my spoon dropped back there. Just going to have to slowly work it together. And what I like to do is work it, mash it, press it, and you can smell that wonderful, strong peanut flavor. There's no sugar added to the PB2 powder. So if you try to have it just as peanut butter alone, it's not going to taste like Jif. But it will taste like peanuts, because that's pretty much what it is. All right, and you think at this point, you're like, Stephanie, it's not going to come together. It is. You just got to keep working it together. I like to scrape at the bottom, scrape and press, and keep going. If you want to do it with your hand, that's fine. But I find just a little tool like this kind of helps me a little bit better than with my hand. Just press it together. Keep pressing it until you don't see any more of the powder. And again, I'm just having this turn so you can see exactly in real time what it looks like. We're almost together. Ooh, strong peanut butter flavor. All right, I think we got all of it. See? That's exactly what it'll look like when we're finished. So, I always like to keep a paper towel. Inevitably, you get some on your hands. So wipe your hands as you finish. Now I've just got, you can use any kind of plate, disposable plate. I'm just going to put this in a pie plate here. I've lined it with wax paper. You can do this with your hands if you want to. I don't. So I'm just going to scoop these out. I think this is the perfect size, and it'll make about 15 or 16. So I'm just going to scoop these out on the wax paper. Let me go around and scoop all of these out. And I try to get them evened off so that they're all the same size. I have a 1, 2, and a 3 tablespoon set. And for a while I didn't use them. And then I thought, well, I'll start trying them. And man, I have just fallen in love with these. I find they're really handy for a lot more than what I originally thought I would use them for. Because if I'm just scooping them out with my hand, then some are bigger, some are smaller. As you know how that goes. And if you're making something like this, somebody will say, well, that one's bigger than mine. I want one too, or they're not all the same size. Especially if you got kids. They want everything the same. Somebody can't get something any bigger or more than the other one. Got that sibling rivalry thing. And then my brother and I used to have such sibling rivalry when we were kids about everything had to be even because we were so close in age. I can remember my mom dividing up the meatballs in a can of spaghettios and meatballs, and if there was 13, we got 6.5 each because it would be an absolute fight. All right. So it looks like we've got most of them out. And I think I have enough from the spoon and what's the residual left on my scoop. And some in my bowl to make one more. And again, because I'm not losing any of this. This is some good stuff. This one I'll have to kind of put my hand on it. But again, that's enough for one more. So kind of always do those extra scrapes to be sure you have it all. And you'll see this is a really sticky consistency at this point. Just like if you were doing regular peanut butter balls. Just, you know, the old-fashioned traditional method that's got a lot of sugar in them. So we do want these to firm up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I ended up with 12, 13. I want to put these into the refrigerator now. You can even put these in the freezer if you want to speed this process up because I want them to firm up a little bit, and then we're going to coat them in that wonderful chocolate waterfall. So I'm going to pop these in the freezer for about 15 minutes just so they firm up, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, it's been about 15 minutes and it's almost time to get the peanut butter balls out of the freezer. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to melt my chocolate. So I've just got here, this is 4 cups of water, and I've got it coming to a boil. I'm going to do a double boiler method here, and I'm just going to use it with a pot so I can scoop it off. So this is a stainless pot that I'm going to put in here as well. You can use a glass pot, don't use a plastic. And I'm going to add to this, this is 1 cup of chocolate chunks, and I'm using semi-sweet. If you want to use sugar-free chocolate like Lily's or something, that would be perfect for this. And because I'm melting this, I'm going to use about a little bit, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of coconut oil just to help it melt nicely and just give it a pretty sheen over the top. So this will not take very long at all because my water is already coming to a boil. So we're just going to let this sit, and I'm going to stir it back about every 30 seconds or so until my chocolate is melted and silky smooth. So while I wait for this to melt, you could actually do this in the microwave as well if you like. I do like this method when I'm dipping because the water will continue to keep the chocolate at a kind of loose consistency. But if you did want to do it in the microwave, I would do it in 30-second increments, stirring in between on half power. So let's wait for this to melt, and I'll be right back. All right, that chocolate melting. So once I have it completely smooth, I went ahead and turned off my heat, and that took all of about 1.5 minutes. So I'm going to move you over, and we're going to move over to the side. Alrighty, now I've got us moved over to the side, and I've got our little peanut butter balls, and you can see they firmed up. They're not hard, but they firmed up. It gives that applesauce just a little bit of time to kind of connect with the peanut butter and come together. I've got me a dry paper towel and a wet paper towel for my hands. And since these have little rough edges and they're kind of, I would say, organic in nature, they're just as is, you can leave them like that, but I'm going to shape these, just give them a quick little roll, and the warmth of your hands will help them to turn these into little balls. So this will take just a second. Just give them a little run over to smooth those edges. They're still nice and cold. Now I've got them all shaped. Just wipe my hands off for this purpose. Get all of that peanut butter powder off. Do it with my dry. And now we're going to go through and dip these. They're nice and cool at this point, so it's really easy to do. The reason I prefer a double boiler method here is obviously when we melt it, we take it off the heat. Got it sitting on a wooden block here. The water under it is still hot, so it'll keep this at this nice loose consistency, which is exactly what we need. So I'm going to use a fork, and I'm going to just place each one on a fork, and then I'm just going to cover those little beauties in the chocolates. This is just the fun part where you just kind of drizzle it off, and it just comes off there nicely. Look at that pretty little chocolate ball. Look at that, isn't that pretty? And now I'm just going to ever so gently push him back and go ahead, and I'm going to keep dipping the rest of these, and then I'll follow up with our next step. All right, now we have them all nice and dipped. So what we're going to do, we're going to place these back in the freezer for about 10 minutes until the chocolate sets up nicely. So let's put these back in the freezer. All right, our chocolate peanut butter balls have been in the freezer for about 10 minutes. And as you can see, I've got more chocolate here. So I went ahead and melted, while these were in the freezer, the rest of the package of my chocolate over my double boiler, because I like to come in and double dip these because I want a nice chocolate to peanut butter ratio. So, and you can see because these are cold, this is not going to take very long. I've got a clean piece of wax paper here because this is not going back in the freezer because the peanut butter balls are already really nice and cold. So this will take just a minute for these to kind of firm back up. And if you had any imperfections the first go around, it'll help smooth them out and make them look nice and neat. So I'm going to kind of go over each one, give them an equal amount of chocolate to peanut butter ratio, because we know that first shell just kind of coats it. It's kind of like a crumb coat on a cake. And the second one is even better to get it nice and completely coated. So if we have a little side like that got missed, we're fixing to take care of that. And that just fell in. So I'm going to keep dipping these, and then I'm going to show you what they look like. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, but these are already firming up because, again, they're cold. So the cold from the peanut butter balls against the warm chocolate, it's covering them really, really quickly. Peanut butter balls double dipped at this point, so we're just going to let them sit out, and the cold from the peanut butter cup will allow them to firm up, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm Stephanie, and this has been Steph's Stove. For today, we made these beautiful peanut butter balls. These are no sugar added. They have lots of protein, about 7 grams of protein in each peanut butter ball. You're not going to find that in a Reese cup. Delicious, delicious. And now I'm going to bite into it so you can see exactly what the inside looks like. Yum. Look at that. It tastes just like a Reese cup. But it's healthy. Perfect texture. Amazing consistency. You can't get any better than this. So, give us a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button for more great content like this. Remember, Steph, we're making memories one dish at a time. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day.